Spring is in the air, and this time of year often lends itself to debates over which MVP caliber superstars can tilt the balance of power in the NBA playoffs. But any champion will tell you that the quest for the Larry O'Brien trophy is a team effort, with the victorious squad often surrounding its stars with perfect role players. And right now, there may not be a better role player or bigger championship X factor than Brook Lopez. All aboard Splash Mountain. For Lopez, this season has been like the culmination of one of the most fascinating career arcs in modern NBA history. For the first half of his career, the 7-foot center played like, well, a 7-foot center. Though Lopez was always a skilled offensive big man who blended a soft touch with his brute force, and he could hold his own from the mid-range, the then Nets star did most of his damage around the basket. Through the first 8 seasons of his Nets tenure, split between New Jersey and Brooklyn, the greatest share of Lopez's field goal attempts came within 3 feet of the rim, with less than 0.5% of his shots coming from behind the arc. And that formula worked for the big man, as Lopez averaged 18.6 points on 51% shooting over his 9-year tenure with the Nets, riding that fairly traditional shot diet to the top of the franchise's all-time scoring leaderboard. But at the urging of former Nets coach Kenny Atkinson, Lopez quietly reinvented himself as a stretch big between his last season in Brooklyn and one forgettable year with the Lakers. Those 2 seasons made Lopez the perfect fit for a new-look Bucks squad in 2018 that was now under the tutelage of head coach Mike Budenholzer, who wanted Milwaukee to bomb away from deep around the unstoppable rim running of future MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. The thing is, while Lopez became a more willing three-point shooter, he wasn't always the most accurate one, canning just 34.4% of his long-range attempts over his first 4 years in Milwaukee, with that accuracy rate falling to 31.6% in the playoffs. What makes this season different is that Lopez has converted a career-high 37.5% of his 4.8 three-point attempts per game, with 42% of his shots now coming from deep.
Nobody has extended their career and adjusted to the new NBA more than him. Right?
He's had like 2 careers in this motherfucker.
Yeah. But it's not just the shooting. The beauty of Milwaukee having Lopez on the offensive end is that while he can obviously space the floor for Giannis and seamlessly fits beside the Greek Freak because he doesn't clog the lane, the Bucks can still use Lopez's trusty old low post game when Giannis rests. Though it's no longer where his bread is buttered, Lopez is shooting 74% at the rim and 54% from floater range. Combined with his newfound three-point marksmanship, the 15-year veteran is averaging 15.7 points per game on nearly 63% true shooting, his highest scoring average in 6 years. Lopez's ability to produce from wherever Milwaukee needs him to helps explain why the Bucks have managed to remain elite in the nearly 1,200 minutes the team has played this season with Lopez on the court but Giannis off. Of course, the biggest reason for the Bucks' success with Lopez on the court is due to his contributions on the less glamorous end of the floor. Years ago, when Lopez was dominating the offensive interior for the Nets, his defense was a concerning punchline. Sure, he could hang with other plotting bigs if he had to, but he was an uninspiring rim protector who could be exposed by mobility. Just like he did on the offensive end though, Lopez found the perfect home in Milwaukee, with the big man serving as the anchor in Budenholzer's drop coverage scheme, made easier by the fact Antetokounmpo can almost act as a free safety or rover. And just like this season has served as the culmination of Lopez's years-long offensive transformation, the 2022-23 campaign has also been the pinnacle of Lopez's defensive renaissance. The 35-year-old is currently the odds-on favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year, which would make him the oldest ever to win the award.
Ages just a letter, man.
Even playing alongside a former winner of the award in Antetokounmpo and an all-defensive guard in Drew Holiday, Lopez has emerged as the most valuable component of Milwaukee's second-ranked defense. Lopez's career year on the defensive end is so much more than just his career high average of 2.5 blocks per game. Among the 90 players who've defended the most shots at the rim, only Jaren Jackson Jr. owns a better defensive field goal percentage. Lopez also has an uncanny ability to block, alter, and deter shots without fouling, as only Jazz rookie Walker Kessler has averaged more blocks per foul committed. That rim protection allows Giannis, Holiday, and the rest of the Bucks more freedom to defend elsewhere, and helps explain why Milwaukee's defense is nearly 6 points per 100 possessions worse when Lopez sits. Comparing Lopez to his competitors in the Defensive Player of the Year race, the Bucks still defend better with Lopez on the court and Giannis off than the Grizzlies do with Jackson on the floor, or than the Heat and Cavs do with Bam Adebayo and Evan Mobley on the floor, respectively. Even Lopez's underwhelming rebounding numbers underrate his effectiveness, as he's a sound team rebounder whose box outs help the Bucks finish defensive possessions.
Come on, Jim, I can rebound with anybody.
Add it all up, and a one-time All-Star who's never made an All-NBA team and made just one All-Defensive team over the first decade and a half of his career has a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year and perhaps even crack an All-NBA team at age 35. Most impressive and inspiring of all, Lopez, who's logged more than 30,000 NBA minutes between the regular season and playoffs, is doing all of this a year after undergoing a back surgery that limited him to just 13 games last season. So consider this episode a moment of appreciation for both Lopez's unique career trajectory and for what's been an incredible season for the veteran center. But don't discount how important he is in this year's title picture. The best player on the planet, the NBA's best team, and the league's championship favorite wouldn't be able to do what they do without Brook Lopez being in the middle of it all.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.